Blog Talk Radio.
And good morning and welcome to our Christian Women Empowerment. Thank you for joining and tuning in with us today. My name is Diane Winbush and I'm your host. And so today for our program, we will be talking about self-development and also motivate me. That's the topic of our segment on today. And today, to be able to help us to be able to understand a little bit more about this, is actress and Christian life coach Nikeya Young. So good morning, Nikeya, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Diane. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Great. So let's get started a little bit. Let's talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about you. Tell us a little bit about you and what kind of compelled you to be able to, maneuver into this avenue of trying to help women, trying to impact women, and try to empower women in, for better self-development.
Thank you. Well, I have always been a person who has been very intentional about my personal and professional growth. That's just who I am. I've been this way since I was a teenager. So I guess it's always been a passion of mine, I would say. So it's no surprise to me that I'm now taking things and tools that I've been using my whole life and using them to help other women to feel empowered. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Nikeya Young. I currently reside in the Chicagoland area. I do not reside in Chicago. I said Chicagoland area. I'm in the far south suburbs. That's like a thing. Anyone who's from Chicago knows. They get really touchy when you say you're from Chicago and you live in the burbs. So I live in the suburbs of Chicago. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I've actually, Diane, since we last spoke a year or two ago, I've actually had two more kids. I have a son who's 5, and then I had twin daughters right when the pandemic began in 2020.
What?
So, I know.
Okay. Baby boomers.
That's a whole crazy story. But, yeah, so I have 3 children. I'm a speaker, an author, all of that fun stuff, and a woman who unapologetically loves God, and if you talk to me any longer than 5 minutes, I'm going to throw him in there somewhere and direct other people to him. So.
Absolutely. I agree with that because he's kind of, the topic of Christianity and the love of the Lord is contagious and you can't stop. And so, that's an amazing story. And so congratulations on your children and what have you, because, yes, it's been a while since you have been on the show, and so you kind of done moved a couple of years, about 2 or 3 years older, so we're grateful for that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So now this is something that I try to share with Christian women as well, because sometimes we feel that, when we're a Christian, we're supposed to, stay in a certain spot or a certain section or a certain corner. So when we learned about the title of you being an actress, because a lot of times people feel that, I'm just supposed to be in the church. I don't supposed to grow beyond the church. And so we want to talk about that too, because I allow the women that comes onto the Christian show to be able to help the other Christian women that are in the church procrastinating. They feel that they cannot go beyond the pews, or they cannot go beyond where they are in Christianity, such as being an author, such as being an actress, or what have you. So if you would kind of talk to us a little bit about that, of how God led you in that area to be able to perform that.
Okay, awesome. So for me, I would say the foray into doing modeling, acting, singing, voiceover, all of those types of things began in 2008. And I'm very glad that I did those things. I always had a passion for those things, and I felt that it wasn't a question of should I do this or not, being a Christian. It was just, this is my passion, I'm going to pursue it. And in my pursuit of it, I always wanted to make sure I was staying true to myself and staying true to my faith. And so I think that if anyone of faith wants to go into the entertainment industry, first of all, you're not weird for wanting to do that. Second of all, God absolutely needs more representatives in the entertainment industry. I think a lot of times believers complain about how wicked it is. Yeah, because y'all not there. I need y'all to come hurry up. I need
That's right.
It's going to continue to be really, really wicked if we throw our hands up and go, ooh, oh, no, I don't want to touch that. God created us in his image to take dominion. And I think that, we should not at all shy away from the entertainment industry. And so I didn't. Now, the caveat to that is if you are not strong in your faith beforehand, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Right. You're going to do yourself more harm than good. That's the caveat to that. Just wait until you get a little more grounded in the Word. I mean, you can wait till you get a little more grounded in the Word. Wait till you get a little more confident, not a little bit, a lot more confident in who you are and whose you are. If you foray into this industry without a solid biblical foundation, and really, and most importantly, without people to keep you accountable. You should have accountability partners no matter what industry you're going into. But especially the entertainment industry, you will be eaten alive. It will not be a good look. So, yeah, that's my disclaimer for that.
Absolutely, because I agree with you on that. Back in several years back, the first thing that I thought about it, I kind of, became afraid. And so I'm thankful that you brought that portion out, that if you don't have the strength and the faith beforehand, this is not after or while you're trying to do it, but it's beforehand. And so once the Lord had gave some things to me, I'm like, I can't do this and things. But once he equipped me, I was, my confidence was there. And so from that day forward, I tried to help women to be able to understand that there is a gift, there's purposes, there are talents. You have to use them. It's just not meant to stay in the four corners of the church. We have to multiply. We have to subdue. We have to take dominion over the earth. And so sometimes individuals have not exercised or, I guess, massaged their mentality to be able to receive something on that type of magnitude. When it says dominion, that means everything. I can be a judge. I can be an attorney, even while being a Christian woman. I can be able to be an author, such as yourself, an actress. And so sometimes we become stifled. We procrastinate. Sometimes individuals don't grow that far themselves. And so that's the reason why we kind of developed this Christian women empowerment movement several years ago, is to help women not just to teach them or talk to them about church, but it's beyond the church. God is bigger than what people put him in. They put him in a box. They put him in a cubicle. And so whatever it is that he has designed for you, I, and others, he is able to equip us where we can be able to function, where we can be able to manage, we can be able to operate around secular people without our Christian garments being tarnished. Now, I don't say it's something right there. Without our garments being tarnished. And so that's the reason why, I try to, it's a struggle sometimes, because sometimes you'll have people that will understand it and some people will never get the concept. But that's the reason why I don't bring women onto the show that, in no offense to other church leaders, I try not to bring women onto the show that's just basically stuck in the pews. If I do that, then other women will not be able to grow, okay? And so thank you so much for bringing that out about that dominion part. That is so relevant and powerful, even to the scriptures. So thank you so much for that. So even in your progression as what you do as to how you help women and things. Tell us about how important it is. A lot of times, Nikeya, even within the church now, we still going to go back to the church, we create things we build mountains, we create businesses, we take our talents and build others, even in ministry or something else that they may be doing. And sometimes we can lose our own self-development in doing that. While we're trying to push someone else up the ladder, we can lose our confidence. We can lose our self-esteem. So tell us about, first of all, explain to the audience about what self-development actually means.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so self-development, what is it? Self-development is basically, it's a conscious pursuit of personal growth. And personal growth encompasses a lot. It encompasses growing mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially. It's all of these components. And so being committed to self-development means it's a conscious pursuit. And I want to add, not just a conscious pursuit, but a constant pursuit of personal growth, because you should never get to a point where you feel like I've arrived. You should always be, learning and growing from faith to faith and glory to glory. So that's what self-development is. It's a lifelong pursuit.
Absolutely. So now to the second piece and portion of our topic of today, we're going to talk about motivate me. How important is it for us to be able to have the right audience around us, I guess, or the right environment? It don't have to actually just be women. You have, God can be able to send men to be able to keep us lifted in different ways. I would say, it's not anything, I'm not talking about in a social type of way, but I don't want to be biased in saying that, because I can go on LinkedIn and check on my LinkedIn page and I'll see Christian motivation, and it don't always come from women. So talk to us a little bit about how important that it is if we want empowerment and motivation. The environment plays a big part as to being motivated, for our purpose and our will of what we're supposed to be doing, in Christ.
Absolutely. So in this season that we're in also, this is especially important. We're in this, this pandemic or whatever you want to call it, all this stuff going on. And season, first of all, I cannot believe that we are about to enter into year 3 of this thing. I remember when it first started, we were all just naively thinking, okay, we'll wash our hands and wear our mask, and by summer this will all blow over. And now it's like 2 years later.
Yep.
And we're getting ready to go into 2022. It's crazy. But especially with this season, this is important anyway, but with this season, it is vital that you have a plan to not get derailed, to not get in the spirit of fear, to not get in depression, to not get, because you can easily get sidetracked by so much that's going on that you can't, your brain won't even be able to think about being motivated or you'll put yourself, if you're not careful, you'll find yourself in a holding pattern of, well, I'll just wait till the pandemic is over and then because everything is all messed up right now and I'll just get back to that later. Well, what if it goes on for another 3 or 4 years? Are you going to, which we pray it doesn't in Jesus' name, but we're past the point of we'll just wait till this all blows over. And so you have to watch who you're around. If you're around Debbie Downers who, they meditate constantly on the COVID stats and what's going on CNN and, they're saying this, they're saying that, just eating a constant diet of fear factor. And you're trying to progress and you're trying to move forward. Eventually, if you're always talking to people like that, or if you're always, your intake is always negative news, you're going to find that your thinking is going to follow that. And so if we want to stay motivated in this season, you need to make yourself a playlist of worship songs, of biblical teachings, of whatever positive things. If you can find something specifically that's tailored to the goals you're working on, that's even better. But just things that are going to keep you faith-minded and not fear-minded.
Absolutely. So we want to talk about your books. We want to talk about some of the books that you have authored, and we want to start with the first one that you have published. And tell us a little bit about what is it that you want your readers to take away from the first book that you have published, and what led you to start to become a writer?
Okay, awesome. So my first book, Virtue Chic, Classy Takes Center Stage, this was released in October of 2017. It is, I want to say it's the best kept secret. Don't let the fact that it's a few years old make you go, no, get it right now. The teaching that is in this book will always be relevant. I geared it towards Christian millennial women, and it's amazing. So basically, it's to encourage you that you can be virtuous and still be chic. That's why I titled it Virtue Chic. That there is nothing boring about being a virtuous woman in the 21st century. And everything in society will lead you to believe that it is boring, that, you want to be sexy, you want to show skin, or if you're Christian, you're probably a boring person, or men aren't going to find you attractive. You have to be hard, and all this foolishness that the messages that we're getting in society. It's absolute foolishness. Like, first of all, you don't have to forego your femininity. Like, that's your God-given, God-designed women as in a certain way. And when we just kind of put that to the side and want to be more harsh and more manly and more tough, then, we miss out on the blessings that God has for us, things that we can only walk into by being who God, created us to be, how he created us to be, and not trying to be something we're not. So I talk about everything in this book. I talk about relationships. I talk about friendships. I talk about pursuing purpose, even fashion, like some things to wear, and just, yes, you can be stylish and be a Christian woman. So it's a really good book. It's kind of like a girl talk, straight talk book for Christian millennial women. So that's that book. And then I have another book that I worked on. My husband and I were a part of. It just came out in October of this year. And it's an anthology, so there's multiple authors in it, and it's called Masters of Marriage. And it was released by Heart Life Ministries. It's a marriage ministry that we're a part of. And it's just a group of all of us giving tips on how to have a marriage made in heaven. I absolutely love it. I'm so honored to be a part of it. Masters of Marriage. It's available now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold. And Virtue Chic, Classy Takes Center Stage, is also available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead.
I think you asked the second part was like, what made me write? Was that?
Right, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I have always loved writing. Always. And I've always journaled. When I was in school, English was my favorite subject. Math was my least favorite subject, but we won't talk about that. But English, writing, I love to read books. And it's like naturally when you love to read books a lot, it's kind of like the reading and the writing go hand in hand. So when I would write my journal entries, I wouldn't share them with a lot of people. But if I ever shared an entry with someone, the classic response I would get was, oh, my God, you're a really good writer. Like, you express yourself really well in writing. You should write a book. And so after hearing that enough, I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to write a book. And so I did. And I actually have a lot more books in me to write. So I'm going to be, spending some time writing this summer. I'm getting the bug. to put out even more material. So.
Okay, that's great. And so one of the things that you had touched on in regards to the Chic book, the publication, and so, you know, when it comes to women, and that's I'm telling you, I'm the first one to be guilty of it, you know, when I first came to Christ over 20 years ago. And so sometimes women, you know, when we first, depending on the leader, depending on, you know, how, I guess, open, or I don't know what the word, I guess, would it be relaxed or what have you, that the leader is. Sometimes women can. That's a pivotal point that you hit about harshness. Sometimes women can be harsh. You know, they feel that they have to be tough. They have podium all the time, 24 hours a day. Like, you know, you know, I got to hold up and we do supposed to hold up the bloodstained banner, but God did not give it to us to hold it up 24 hours a day. And I think that sometimes women, when it comes to Christian women, we don't know how to let our hair down. You can let your hair down in so many ways, you know, because some, you know, denominations, they teach, you know, you can't wear lipstick. You have to have your hair pulled back in a certain way. If you don't do it this way, it's an abomination. But, you know, and at the end of the day, Nikeya, I still don't blame the denomination for that. I blame the woman for that. Because a woman has to, you know, they have choices, you know. We have choices that we can be able to make. And so once I learned a little bit different, start to getting out with different cultures, different ethnic backgrounds, different things like that in religion, I learned a little bit different. I don't have to walk around choked up. I don't have to always have to fix everybody's collar. I don't have to correct everybody in ministry or what have you. You know, you have to be free in order for others to be free.
Absolutely. I feel that the same way that you. I grew up in a non-denominational church, so that was just my normal. And I didn't understand the whole don't wear makeup, don't wear lipstick. Like later on in my college years, I went to a Kojic church. And I went there for 4 years. I loved the church. I loved my pastor and first lady. They were absolutely wonderful. But during that season, there were certain older women that kind of always, I don't know how to say, like they had a problem with me, or they were put off by the fact that I was wearing makeup. And I was a college, you know, I wasn't like a teenager at that point. I was an adult college young woman attending the church, and it was just so baffling to me because I didn't even realize that was a thing. I was just like, what do you people have against the color red?
Okay. I'm just like a devil or something. They feel the devil is a symbol or something.
I mean, like, if I wore the brown lipstick, it was not that much of an issue, but let me wear the red. Ooh, child, you can't wear no red lipstick. I'm just like, it's just a color. I don't.
Right. They're bad about that. I know Kojic is not trying to no offense, Kojic, but they are bad about that red lipstick. It's like I think they perhaps maybe see it as a symbol, or some denominations see it as a symbol of like a Jezebel type of spirit and what have you. And they don't, you know, sometimes people have not graduated on the level of knowing how to appreciate themselves. You see
Let me tell you, I'm going to set somebody free today. Jezebel is not a lipstick color. It's not a foundation. It's not a nail color. Jezebel is not pants. It's not skirts. Jezebel is not even limited to women. There are some Jezebel spirit men out here, too.
Thank you.
It is a spirit. It will use whomever will roll out the welcome mat for it. That's who it will use. However they're dressed, all of that stuff. So, you know, I think that we have to get away from that. And I think that if you're trying to find a church home and, you know, and you're being made to feel that you're Jezebel solely because of wearing makeup or, God looks at the heart, so that is what he's looking at. And so if you're looking at, we're talking about how to stay motivated. There is nothing more demotivating than being made to feel that something is inherently wrong with your state of being.
Right.
And that as soon as you get dressed and walk out of the house in the morning, you're already going to hell because you got on jeans and not a skirt. We're not doing that in 2021. We're not doing that. The devil is a lie. I'm just sorry, not sorry. That's not it. Now, that being said, you do need to be in decency and in order. I feel like we're in a society where people are doing extremes. So they're either going extreme in that direction or they're going extreme in the other direction. Like, yeah, God wants me to be feminine. And if I want to show my cleavage, God gave it to me. I should be able to show it and wear bodycon dresses and mini skirts and lead worship. Yeah. No, I didn't say that.
Right.
Let's get some balance into this thing.
Absolutely, because see, we have taken the context out of what Jesus meant when he wants us to come to him as we are. We have taken it, we have blown it out so much in context as to what that actually means. If we come to Christ, it does not mean that we come to him any kind of way. As you stated, we have to be decent and we have to be in order. But, even with that, I had to, learn how to, God is working on some things. He's shelling off some old traditional type of things of the way things were. I love to see women in fashion, Christian women. I love to see them with high heels on. I love stuff like that. And so, God has helped me to be able to see things in a total different way. And so that's the reason why I started this show, to be able to help other women to be able to come out of these negative shells. They'll never be able to fulfill their potential, nor the potential that God would have for them to, where he would have for them to be. They don't know how to take dominion because we're still stuck in these portals, these portals in the church. So we only have about a couple of minutes left, and these 2 last minutes, I want you to be able to share with the listeners where they can be able to find you as far as your social links, as far as I think you have already shared about your books and what have you. You can be able to do that also once again, and then you can also be able to share how they can be able to follow you on any of your social media. You can do that at this time.
Thank you so much. So I'm on Instagram, and you can find me at Coach Nikeya. And my name is spelled Nikeya, so Coach Nikeya. And I'm on Twitter at Nikeya Young. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. Now, up until October of 2020, you used to be able to find me on Facebook, but child, somebody hacked me and got me kicked off Facebook. It's a long story. So if you look on Facebook, you'll see my page, but if you message me on there, I will not be able to respond to you because the account that I opened that page with has been disabled. So I have no access to my business page or the 2,940-something people that's on it. Pray that God will help me get my page back because that was the devil.
Okay.
But those are the places you can find me, and most importantly, my website, www.nikeyayoung.com. So you can find me there. I'm very excited. I'm going to be launching a podcast next year. So you can subscribe to my email list and be one of the first people in the know of when I get that started.
Okay, great. Nikeya, we have certainly enjoyed you on today on the show. It was just so awesome to be able to have you, and we thank you so much for being with us on today.
Thank you so much, Diane. I had a blast. You have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Okay, you the same. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.